So, Teresa, what were we looking to achieve with your new kitchen?
It's quite tricky because what we wanted to do was actually rip the whole thing out and start again.
Yeah.
It was a little bit sensitive because the man who we bought the house from actually did the kitchen, built the house, and he's our next door neighbour, and he was going to be fitting the new kitchen for me. So there was a few issues of being sensitive about the whole thing. There was nothing wrong with the kitchen, but I just think it's nice to put your own stamp on something when you move in. So down the kitchen basically had units all down that side, and then it had units all the way down this side, but there was nothing in the middle whatsoever. So what I wanted to achieve was a really good working kitchen where you could have a good work triangle and just be really kind of user friendly. So the whole layout needed to change, and yeah, I just wanted to put my own stamp on it and make it my own.
Good stuff.
But Stewart laughed at me because I am very old school. I brought in some graph paper and I had cut out scale diagrams of the units and so on, and where the island was.
That was amazing.
And,
that was good.
And then all you do is you put blue tack on the back of the bits and you move it around. The table, initially the kitchen had to be designed around a table, which we brought back from South Africa.
Which is amazing looking table, to be fair.
Yeah, it's really not in this room now. It was 2.4 metres long by 1.2 metres wide.
Yeah.
And how on earth I thought that was going to go in here, I don't know. But anyway, Stuart's brief was to try and fit this ginormous table in the kitchen and an island. So as you can see, there is not really room for that. So anyway, the table is now in the living room, dining room. So that was perfect. And then I just bought this little round table afterwards, which I think fits perfectly there. When you're looking for a new kitchen, I suppose it's a bit like looking for a new car. You have to find the right person that you want to work with. It's a big investment, and I'd kind of done the rounds around all the high street famous chains, blah blah blah. And then I came across Lomond Kitchens, and I thought, do you know what? They're more my kind of people. They were young, enthusiastic, and they were just starting out really. And the first thing I thought was, I can actually trust these guys. I just felt that they had my best interest at heart. They really wanted to help me to create this great kitchen. The other places I went, I felt very much like they were selling me something, and it was almost like they were commission based and they had to earn so many clients to reach their targets. But with Stewart, I just straight away thought, well, A, it's his company, and B, he needs to build up a great client base, which he's obviously done already. And I just thought, this guy's genuine, and if I have any problems or issues, he'll definitely help me out. Whereas, as I say, the other people, I just got the impression they didn't really care about my kitchen or how it would all turn out in the end. And so I knew that we were going to get this house, and I had seen the kitchen. So I had the luxury of having quite a few months, a lot of months to plan. That was the other thing with Stewart. There was no pressure, and he was very patient because I went through quite a few processes of changing the designs and the layouts and so on. So as I say, we were lucky. We had months and months to plan the kitchen. So we were looking for the right kitchen designer, the right kitchen company to work with. To be honest, we actually chose Lomond Kitchens before I chose the kitchen, which maybe is a strange thing to do. But I just thought, you know what, they've got a great range of kitchens anyway, and I like the people, I want to work with them. So they came first, then the kitchen. I didn't walk into a showroom, fall in love with the kitchen and say, I must have that kitchen, because I firmly believe that the trust between you and the company is much more important than the kitchen. As you can see, I've gone for a very kind of classic white shaker kitchen, which you can pretty much get anywhere, but there's varying degrees of quality, obviously. But I thought, choose Stewart, choose Lomond Kitchens, and then the design and the actual kitchen will come second, it will follow on. And I was confident that we would do that, and Stewart was very patient with helping us along the way, and I didn't once feel like I was being hurried, so I'm very glad I chose them. Shall I tell you my 3 favourite things about my new kitchen? One is behind Stewart. This is my pantry, which I just love. And the funny thing about this was when we totally refurbished the whole house actually. And then at the end, I said to my husband, my favourite thing in the whole house is my pantry. And he thinks I'm completely weird because in the beginning when we were planning it, he basically said, why are you getting so excited about cupboard to put your coffee machine in? And I kept saying, well, it's more than a cupboard. You know, this is going to change your life. And then funnily enough, now he's agreeing with me. He's saying, such a good idea. And he can now see why I was so excited. So yes, I love that. I love the fact the lights come on when you open it and you can just hide away all your stuff and then it's nice and sleek. So that's number one. Second thing is I love the induction hob. This is quite bizarre actually because I always loved cooking with a gas hob. And we don't have mains gas here, but I was prepared to do gas via a canister, but that was going to be an awful lot of work. But anyway, Stewart suggested induction, and I'm so glad he did because it's amazing. Just love it. It's got the extractor that takes away all the smells and the steam that goes down, and it really does work, believe it or not. I was a bit skeptical, but it's amazing, and everyone is very, very kind of impressed that when they're sitting there and I'm cooking there, you know, they can't quite believe that it actually sucks it down. So that's great. And then the third thing is definitely a cooker or a cooker. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This tap, amazing. And again, there's quite a few to choose from, and I'm so glad we went with that one. I think it was Stewart actually that convinced me to go with that colour. So I love that. So that's the three favourite things. There's lots more things I could talk to you about my kitchen all day because I just love it. I spend all my time in here actually. Although I've got so many other lovely rooms I could be in. It's great. It's got all the light and it's just a great room to be in. Love the island. Yeah, as Stewart was saying before, originally in my design I had a return going down that corner, which is really tight, but Stewart convinced me it was a good idea to get rid of the return so that I could get a bigger island, and the island is just amazing. Just absolutely love it. It's perfect because it's got the way I designed it was to have the preparation area on the left and then the cooking and then the serving. So every drawer's got the appropriate stuff in it for prep, cooking, serving. But Martin can't get his head around that because he keeps putting my serving stuff in the prep side and I keep having to remind him. Yeah, so couldn't be happier. Absolutely love it. Yeah, favourite room in the house. And one piece of advice to anyone, don't scrimp on the worktops. If you're going to save money or cut money anywhere, don't do it on the worktops. These are amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I love it.
It's stunning. I love this whole thing.
I love it. And you know the thing is as well, it's not trendy, not modern. I haven't followed any, latest fads or whatever.
Done your own thing. Yeah. And
so I think, the colour I guess is a bit trendy-ish, but I haven't gone with, obviously haven't gone with a coloured kitchen because I definitely think that the units are better neutral.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I can change the walls easily, I can change the handles easily, but of course I've got wooden cabinets so I can paint them if I want to as well. So. I would say don't hesitate to go to Lomond Kitchens because you'll go around lots of places, as I said before, and you just get the impression that they're only looking for a quick sale. They don't really get you as a customer. Some of the people I worked with, I have to say, I'm not even sure if they had owned their own kitchen. Well, obviously they had a kitchen in the house, but you know what I mean? They're maybe not a cook or they haven't planned their own kitchens. So I just had more faith in the guys at Lomond Kitchens that they knew what they were doing. They've both got extensive knowledge of kitchens, even down to the fact that when we were having the kitchen fitted, Stewart was on hand on the day to take calls from the joiner if there was any issues or whatever with, any questions whatsoever. Stewart was there, and I can tell you for a fact that if I'd gone to one of the high street places, they would not have been able to do that. So I just felt there was a lot of aftercare as well. So I knew that if anything needed redone or there was any snagging or whatever, I knew I could just call them and they would help out. So, and in terms of cost, don't make the mistake of thinking that if you go to, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention any names, if you go to any of the famous high street brands, especially the one that offers you interest-free credit, don't be sucked in by that because, there's inexpensive and there's cheap, and some places are just cheap. So going to a small independent place like Lomond Kitchens, it doesn't mean it's more expensive. Don't fall into the trap of thinking they're going to be very expensive because they're independent. That's not the case at all. They'll work towards your budget and take into account all of your considerations. So just give them a try. I mean, you've nothing to lose and I'm sure you'll be really happy.